Hey guys, welcome back to Poised in Progress. I'm your host Aria, and today we'll be talking about why it's important not to care what people think. Now, you've probably heard about this topic multiple times about why you shouldn't care what people think, but I'm going to actually be breaking down and explaining why caring about how people perceive you, what they may say, or care about what they feel is going on with you is going to keep you stuck. So, let's go ahead and hop into today's episode. We are filming on a Sunday afternoon. This is my second time filming on Sunday, and I'm not gonna lie, I think this might be my day to film, but we will see. Don't quote me. Do not quote me, okay? I'm currently reading The Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy. I've actually been reading this off and on for a little bit now. I don't know, if you're just not at that point of your business of like actually needing the stuff that you read, it's kind of hard to read whenever you're reading like self-improvement books or anything about finance. But anyways, I've been reading this book and I'm at the part where he's explaining different type of buyers. So this will help you be better at selling to different kinds of people, which I really didn't understand that there was other like different type of people who buy, if that makes sense. Like there's just like, it's based off of personality, which is crazy to me. One of them that he explains is the relatable buyer. He explains how this buyer needs to have a relationship with the product and the seller for them to buy. They typically will go back and ask or tell people what they are planning on investing in to see what their reaction would be, and they would buy or not buy based off of those reactions. So I bring up this buyer because unfortunately that is your girl. Before I start something or invest in something, I have to go and talk about it to other people. Like, it's so annoying. And it's like, I need to see if those other people think it aligns with me for real. But I mean, for the most part, even if people don't agree, I'll still do what I want. But I do need quote unquote reassurance, or maybe a better word, feedback. The reason why I bring this up is because if you don't have that part of you where even if everybody's going against your idea or your decision, you'll still do it, that will stunt your growth at the end of the day, okay? So I like to give you guys some background, like a background story of like how I realized that this was really delaying me from what God was promising me that I was praying for. Okay, so if you're new to this podcast, welcome. I hope you guys subscribe. I also own a business as a lash and brow artist. I've been owning it for about going on a little over a year now. And coming into that industry should have happened so much earlier for me, because once I left college, I was pretty confused on what I wanted to do, because at a young age, I knew I was destined to be successful and do my own things. And I never really seen myself working for someone else long term. So I wanted to do something, and I chose lashing. I actually still remember when I decided to become a lash artist. It was a random night, and I had seen a video pop up on my TikTok, and were talking about how much they made in a day as a lash artist, which was buku amount of money, more money than I had ever seen at that point. And I immediately went to go look it up on YouTube. Now, at this time in my life, like, I was starting to work. I was out of an old routine that I was in, and I was just really trying to see how I was going to be successful, because honestly, all my friends, they were still in college, and I was the only one who wasn't in college anymore. And which that puts a lot of pressure on you when you feel like you are behind your friends. And so I said I needed an scapegoat or something, and I'm very happy and blessed that lashing was my thing, because I absolutely love it, but it could have happened a lot sooner. So when I was looking up on YouTube how to become a lash artist, I found this channel, Ariel Renee. And Ariel Renee, I can't lie, after the first video, I binge watched her whole channel. And I even got a lash kit and started practicing, y'all. Now, this was around early 2022 because it wasn't summer yet. It was early 2022. And it still took me over a year to start doing it. Why? Although I really didn't receive a lot of backlash on becoming a lash artist. It was more about the way I thought people would think of me. Now, follow me here. I would think about people who thought I was too good to be a lash artist. Now, let me explain this. Because let me set the time it was, y'all. Let me set the time. So, at this time, it was almost acceptable to be in the beauty industry. It's still not fully acceptable now. It's like the equivalent of people going to the military. People just think it's a cop-out thing, which is so crazy to me because you do so much and it takes so much learning. I really don't see how people think that, but I mean, that's what people thought, especially at that time, because I think around that time, if I'm not mistaken, it was like when nursing was becoming on the incline, that people wanted to go into nursing, and also people wanting to do content creation. So like being a lash artist was on the downside of that too, because people didn't like that the pricing was now going up and you could no longer get a full set for $65. So it was like a lot of backlash. So I was thinking people thought I was too good to be a lash artist based off of that thinking. I also thought that I didn't have enough connections to get started because I had no clue how to start a business whatsoever. Like, I didn't have anything. I just knew I wanted to do it. But I felt like you needed so much stuff and needed, like, people, because I was out of the realm of, like, seeing a lot of people all the time. Like, you know, back in high school, hair stylists, y'all, they got all their clients from school. You know, we be in 4th hour, and by 5th hour, they got 10 clients. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was easier to me at that time. Like, I was thinking, like, oh my gosh, like, because I didn't really have anything to make myself, like, kind of be more popular or be more known. I felt like it was going to be hard for me to get clients because people, quote unquote, might not like me, if that makes sense. And I also thought that people would make fun of me. For real, y'all. I thought people would make fun of me because, I don't know, I felt like people thought of me in such a different light. Now, granted, to this day, I feel like people assume that I have so much stuff together and that I know so many things. But especially when they're like at my age too, because like they may feel like I'm just think about things a little bit more than them. But the honest truth is that I really don't. Like, I try to explain that so many times. Like, I really don't know what be going on. It's just for some reason when I wake up every morning, it's like, how can I make this day better? Like, I don't know. Like, it's really, there's methods to it, which we will break down as we go through this season of this podcast. But I don't really know. So I really thought people would make fun of me because she's like, oh, here she goes. Because mind you, I was the girl doing YouTube when YouTube was not popular, y'all. And for one, I was a black girl. So, in a predominantly white state, for one. Two, I was just kind of doing content. And, like, at this time, people really didn't know my personality like that either. So, having to do YouTube and, like, having that out there. And I did get made fun of just, like, a little bit for having my YouTube channel. So, I was like, okay, me switching over to this. Like, I just didn't think people would take me seriously. Like, that's just what I thought. And what this did was it delayed my whole entire process. My whole process. And how it delayed my process is my school that I went to for my esthetician license, they said I could start in 9 months. That was like the waiting period. Or I could do sooner if somebody dropped out. And because I needed more reassurance for me to start, I picked to wait the 9 months. Now, the reassurance was not trying to be reassured by God or Jesus. It was being reassured by other people who were not going to be in that school with me, who were not going to be starting this business with me. I just needed, quote unquote, their approval, which is so crazy for me to think about, especially now seeing how far I've been. Like, knowing that I really felt like I needed that approval is so crazy to me. And although I was practicing lashing, I would not try to lash on an actual person. Like, I think I tried one time on my mom, and I just kind of really psyched myself out. Now, granted, lashing is really hard, y'all. Like, go look at my videos on my other platforms, but we're not going to get into that today. But lashing is really hard, especially when you start out. But like, guys, I was watching up to 10 to 20 videos every single day on how to lash and how to become a better lash tech. This is during the time before I was in actual school. But because I didn't want to post the hard part, I didn't want to post me struggling, because I didn't want others to judge me. I didn't want to get hate comments. I didn't want people to be like, okay, like, how do you go from a content creator to now you're trying to do lashes? Like, that's the stuff that I was really thinking at this time. And it took me almost 2 years later. Well, yeah, about 2 years later for me to take a lash course and to actually start lashing on people. And that should have happened so much sooner. But because I was so weighed down by what others would think, it took me so much longer, because I really cared about what other people would have thought. And to even look at it back now, like, I didn't need their permission, right? So I have a couple projects that I'm working on now, and I told myself that you will not be waiting any longer to start. And the reason why I thought about this was because I write down like all the like titles that I might want to do for podcasts and stuff. And so I knew I wanted to do this one, which was perfect timing because I was starting those other projects soon. I knew that I cannot do what I did before, because now being on the other side, you really see that like it really is like you got to tell yourself like you're ready to go, like you're ready to do it. And so I am truly taking a different approach than I did before when I was getting into lashing for these new projects. And here's my guide to stop letting myself wait, because no lie, y'all, your girl's been working and she is improving pretty quickly. And I want to share that with you guys to help you not wait any longer. So the first thing is to pray about it. Okay? This was a mistake that I did in the beginning when I was starting lashing, because I was seeking reassurance from everyone but from who mattered and who would actually make my plans come to light. Why I didn't, I really don't know. I think because it felt a little too real when I asked God for things, but that was just a horrible way of thinking, because me going and telling my friends about what I wanted to do, especially during that time, because I didn't have my solidified friend group at that time yet. And so it opened me up to envious people. It opened me up for people who just didn't care. It opened up to me to people with their own insecurities on how they feel about doing their own thing. So before I do any of these plans, I prayed about them. And I didn't just pray that one time at night. Like, it was continuous. It was a continuous prayer to make sure that this was something that wasn't coming from me, but it was coming from God. Because everything that I know came from God really did exceed my expectations, and it flourished. So pray about it first. The second thing, giving myself a short timeline to plan. I remembered my therapist told me that perfectionism is just a pretty way of saying you're a procrastinist. Again, you guys will probably hear me saying this over and over again because this is really why I was able to get started. It's because I didn't wait till I had everything. I started from what I had. Okay? And spend only a short time planning. Why is this important? Because you will change your mind on something eventually. But you'll make the right decision when you're actively working in it. So you'll see what you need. And watch how quickly you'll get it done when you shorten the timeline. So growing up, like my mother, she's a perfectionist. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist as well. I don't need it to look pretty. I just need everything to kind of flow a certain way. And it would stop me because I'm like, okay, well, I need this lash bed. I need this product. I need this and I need that. But what it did is like I was setting up a false reality because who knows if that was actually what I needed. Everybody is different. And I wish as a society we would understand how different each and every one of us are. Because if we did, we would stop trying to fit ourselves in these little itty bitty squares. Like, okay, like for me, I wanted to wake up early. Like I wanted to start doing that. Realistically, it doesn't make sense with my schedule. It just doesn't make sense with my schedule because I have to know where my energy's at, right? If I'm waking up at 5:30, but I'm getting home from work at 9 p.m., and I really could have slept until 8 or 7, my energy is shot by 2 p.m. And I still got all those hours left. And that's what I mean by if you are trying to fit yourself in a box, and that's what perfection is. It's like you're fitting yourself in a box. You are not going to get very far because you're never going to start. You're just going to keep planning and planning and planning. Shorten the timeline. Instead of giving yourself a month, give yourself a week. Give yourself a day. Like, if you've been in school, you've been in college, right? And you know, there's always like those random assignments that like pop up out of nowhere. Like, you know how quick you could get that essay done if you know you only got till 11:59. You will have to apply it to other things. Now, I'm not giving America's education system like any praise whatsoever. But I will say in that way, they do kind of show through that like you have to give yourself a short amount of time so that you can finish it. Now, I know sometimes people can be like, well, what if you do that and, you know, things are sloppy, they don't go the right way, da-da-da. In my experience, it's rare. It's rare because also we live in a day and age with a lot of resources, and it doesn't take that long to research things. It really doesn't. Like, right now, I'm in the process of redecorating my suite. And within one night of 2 hours of scrolling on TikTok, I found everything I wanted. I went through all the reviews and found things that I wanted. Like, it doesn't take that long. It really doesn't take that long. It only takes that long if you give it that long. So shorten your timeline when you plan to do anything that you want to do. Because also, if you shorten the timeline, you also give people less time to put in their opinions. Okay? When you do anything that you feel like is a love for you, you have to understand that you only really need God's voice in yours. You don't really need a lot of outside noise unless they are encouraging you. Because if you're watching this podcast, you're obviously not thinking of doing something bad, right? Like, that's not the vibe here. You're not thinking of doing something bad. You're thinking about changing your life for the better, right? You need to silence the noise. So if you shorten the timeline, you shorten how long it will take you to get there, it eliminates how many people who can influence you. Because not everyone wants the best for you. And some people do things out of anger. And you have to believe that not everybody wants the best for you. You have to believe that not everybody is rooting for you. And they will say that they are, right? They will say that they are, but they're really not. So that's why you only need you and God's voice. You don't need other people's opinions, because other people's opinion, you don't know where the root of what they're saying to you is coming from. But if you've been thinking about this for a year, 6 months, even a month, a couple days, get the work done. Get the work done and see if this is for you. Start at step 1. So for instance, like, I'm going to be thinking about doing permanent makeup, right? So I just ordered a kit off of Amazon to just practice to see if I want to do it. I need to get a whole bunch of, oh yeah, that'll be so good. No, I just ordered it. And I'm just going to start, right? I'm just going to start, because that way I know if I want to do it or not, or that if this aligns with where my business is taking me or not, right? So just shorten the timeline. Number 3, organize your idea. Once you have got that spark of the idea, you've already prayed about the idea, you are actively going to start. It's time to organize it. Sometimes when we present to the world so easily, we forget to organize it. So when we are starting something, we will start to end up getting backlash on it, and we will start to discredit what we thought because there's no organization. So in this step, I wanted to explain, you need to know your why and you need to know your how, right? So your why comes from you praying. You got the idea, now you're praying about it, and God's giving you what you need to know, like, okay, this is why you need to do this. Then your how is your timeline of you planning. So you organizing it is kind of combining that and seeing how you will be able to do it efficiently. So even if you're a perfectionist, you can still shorten your time and do it, but have it organized as well. So when I jumped the gun and told everyone how my plans on becoming a lash artist, I didn't do any steps for it. So I had a little bit of idea on how to start, but not fully. So not knowing how to do things opened me up to believing others' feelings over my own. You know a lot more than you think. Especially if you're like me, who just likes to talk about things with other people, and just sometimes talking about it. I'm not going to say it's a bad thing, because sometimes people can give you either the encouragement you need or the resources you need or whatever. But not allowing yourself to get the idea organized and like steps for yourself to understand how to do it can affect you getting it done. Especially if you're experiencing doubt from other people. Because not only are you confused on where to start, you're also having somebody rain on your parade. And then my last step, I'm going to be saying a quote. I'm pretty sure I said this in the first episode, but I'm going to say it again because this is the quote of the year. One day you'll realize that no one was really watching and you could have done whatever you wanted, y'all. This quote is on my vision board, and it has helped me so much, because although I think I pushed through a lot, I think about what others might say, and it makes me not try things. And at 25, I realized how silly it was for me to stop myself on something, and I wish I just did it anyways, honestly. Like, I wish I didn't stop myself. I wish I just would have done it. Luckily, I caught it early. You don't want to wake up and realize it was all in your head too, or you let that person influence you negatively. I believe God is always talking to us, but we have to decide to listen. I recently listened to Quality Queen Control's last episode, and she opened my eyes when she said, being ready is a decision, not a feeling. Let me tell y'all again. Being ready is a decision, not a feeling. And how that relates to this episode is just because that person made you feel you weren't good enough or you fear what others may think and that's why you won't get up. But it's not the others, it's you who has to decide this is for you. Because if you let others dictate what is for you, you will never grow. And you are way too special to stay the same. If that's the biggest tip I can give to you guys, is that you are way too special to stay the same. If you're in a point of your life where it's time to pivot, it's time to change into something that you know you are supposed to be, don't allow others to come in and tear that down, because all it does is put you on a pause. But the thing is, time is always moving. You don't want to be paused in a moving lane. So although it's easier said than done to be like, oh, you shouldn't care what people say, but it's time to really put in the work to understand that you are not meant to stay the same. You are meant to grow. And some people do not have that same best interest in you. And that's why you shouldn't listen to them. Because you should be trusting in what you think about yourself over what other people think about you. And if you have trouble with that, like, of what you think of yourself, I could definitely do a whole episode about that. So just let me know. But of course, I'm always going to end off with some homework. So the homework for this week is to write down everything you let yourself or anyone else talk you out of. And answer yourself, were they right to comment on your life and change what you wanted? Because if the answer is no, you still have time to fulfill that dream for yourself. But you gotta know that you made the wrong decision then, and you can change it. You can change it. I mean, how many more success stories do we need to see for you to know that you can change the directory of your life at any age? It doesn't matter if you're 25, you're 20, you're 50, you're 60, you're 80. It doesn't matter. Because the thing is about it, when it's God's plan, there's really nothing that can make it not happen when you put your brain to it. Whenever you finally submit to God's plan for you. Don't let others pause you. Don't let others make you stuck on the freeway and get hit by a bunch of cars. Don't let others enter into your ideas, into your life, if you're not secure enough to make them happen, even if they go against what you want. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I hope that this gave you guys encouragement to stop letting other people dictate your life. I hope that this will help you really start on those goals. Like, it's March. Everything's blooming. The weather's better now. The sun is out until 7. The time is now. The time is not next year. It's not in 2 months, and it's not next week. Do it now. Pray about it. Shorten your timeline. Organize your ideas. And realize that one day, if you don't do this, you will realize that nobody was watching. And you could have done whatever you wanted. But let's stop making that like something you're going to feel. Instead, do what you want so you don't even have to feel it at all. I will see you guys next week. Please, please, please make sure to do the homework. I really want you guys to actually have things that you will go back to by the end of this season so that you can see how far you came. And if you love this podcast, make sure you leave a review for me down below. I really appreciate it, and it really does help this channel. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.